We are proud to announce that today's webinar is in partnership with Education Management Solutions and is titled Training in Motion, Creating the Live Simulation Experience for Training, presented by Steve Parrish, Vice President, Government Solutions at Education Management Solutions. I'm going to pass it over now to our presenter. Steve, thank you so much for being here with us today to share your knowledge and experience with us, and we look forward to the presentation.
Thanks. I appreciate the opportunity. And so I'm assuming everybody can hear me, or else somebody be typing right now. I can't. I see Steve's lips moving, but I don't hear him. Again, we're so happy to be here. So I'm Steve Parrish with Education Management Solutions. And also, I think it's interesting. My son is a paramedic firefighter. So really get a great insight and respect for the broad spectrum of events and responsibilities that our first responders and clinicians encounter. So it's really a thrill for me to be here today with this, particularly with this group. So thank you for having me. So there's my picture. If anybody cared to see my picture, but we'll keep moving because I've got a lot to cover. But fear not, I think we have plenty of time for questions at the end. I'm sorry, a little bit about Education Management Solutions. We've been in business over 30 years and not a huge company, about 100 employees, which gives us the depth and the broad spectrum of knowledge we need to bring innovative and relevant solutions to the marketplace, but not so big that we're steeped in policy and procedure. We want to be innovative, agile, reactive to the needs of the marketplace. So I really like being kind of in that sweet spot as far as the size of company we are. Headquartered in Pennsylvania, but we're really all over the United States with our account managers and our customer success managers. So we are where you are and easy to get to you. So our value proposition, what do we bring to the table? We want to empower organizations, bring your performance and capabilities and your education training and your active provider care, all in one platform, which I'll talk about more today. So a little bit about our solution approach. So not off the shelf. It is 90% off the shelf solution, and then that last 10% we tailor it for that particular customer's needs. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well. An open architecture. We want to be able to integrate your other systems. If you have human patient simulators, a particular part task trainer that you use, if it has an IP address, our architecture can accept it. Continuously upgrading. So no one would want to still be using Windows 95, right? You're always looking for what's the newest thing out there. How do we integrate with those systems? Continuous improvement so we can accommodate the ever-changing training marketplace. Integration, support, and training. So when you purchase the product, like I said, we don't want you just to buy something off the shelf and then figure out how to use it with the manual. We onboard it. We have trainers that will integrate with you, help you make sure you're meeting your particular training needs. And integrate, again, if you have other training devices, part task trainers, then we want to be able to bring those in as well. So it is not order something off the internet and then we ship it to you. We want to make sure, take care of our customers and that we can make sure that you keep your training up to date and relevant. So the process of integrating simulation and practical experience, basically reality. We know that you've got that simulation, but you want to suspend disbelief, really make it as real as possible. Bring your training into realistic and immersive environments. So it is okay to have the classroom or a simulation lab, but if we can bring that simulation lab capability into the training environment where it's really done. So we can train in the ambulance, out at the ER, in the helicopter. You want to be able to really be able to bring the training experience into that real environment. Keep things up to date. Make sure that we are tracking the requirements for accreditations and certifications, and we understand that that's a huge responsibility you all have. 54 states and territories. Everyone has their own way of doing it. We talk to the managers of the certification processes in each state, and we understand that a lot of it's the same and a whole lot of it is different. So making sure we tailor it to meet those needs and integrating the learner engagement and performance evaluation metrics. And I have an example I'll show of that. So our training in motion solution, again, the simulation lab capabilities to the training environment, capture that training. So we record it, timestamp it, so you can come back to specific spots in the recording. And I'll show you a real world example of how we do that, analyze it. You want to have live debrief, assessment, monitor your learner progression. All of that can be tracked and kept so that we can come back later, a year later, a month later. How did you do it last time? What would you do different? What did you do really well? Make sure we accentuate that as well. So a really balanced offering of hands-on, but also the debrief process. So we say redefining mobility for training. We want you to bring your training lab out to where the training is actually getting done. So training in motion is a solution that we have for that. You'll see a picture of this here. And this is 2 pan-tilt zoom cameras and a Wi-Fi iPad device as well. So a wireless, tetherless environment. We know that you can't be or don't want to be stringing around wires and cables and fiber networks. You just set the cameras up, be able to watch it, not, again, and we say, suspend disbelief, right? So not have those wires and those other non-realistic things going on. So make sure it's wireless, tetherless, everything in one box. When you go out to do training, you don't need to have a system. I have 3 or 4 boxes I gotta open up and have in the way, and also a hard case, rugged, so you can take it out and really be the training where it needs to be done, not have delicate systems. So all in one box in a hard case. A mobile app. Mobile, so again, you can carry it around while people are doing the training. You can walk around and watch from different angles. Zoom or Teams viewable, and AirPlay if you have that capability as well. And so the VA has actually engaged us to be able to bring this into the Teams networks so that people all over the nation, all over the world, can be watching a particular training event through their Teams connectivity. But we also integrate with Zoom. 300 hours of simulation can be recorded. That is a lot of training. That is a lot of training. Okay, so but if it fills up, you can push that off into a hard drive, and then you're empty again. We also operate with cloud storage. We know that each organization has their own rules about can you use the cloud or not, and how you would properly integrate with the cloud. And so, again, we tailor it to meet those particular needs. My government customers, my federal government customers, can't touch the cloud. So we have on-premise capability and systems set up for them. However, if you can use the cloud, it certainly can store all that video up in the cloud. We can connect 4 feeds at once. Any more than 4 gets to be cluttered, kind of too much going on at once. So we found that 4 feeds, so 2 cameras, a mannequin, and another training device, 3 cameras and a training device, whatever you want to select. But 4 feeds seems to be really the sweet spot that works the best for training. And then plug and play accessories. So we have the laptop, body cam, solar charge batteries, and I'll talk about that stuff. So this is kind of what this would look like here in the back of an ambulance. We have the patient, and you can see the screen at the bottom showing 2 camera views, the patient vital signs if you have a mechanism to bring that in, and then the control at the bottom, which I'm going to go into today in depth. But I think the first thing I've got is this kind of short video. Can you hear the audio in this video? I can't know. So, all right. Well, I'm only gonna have the video, the audio for this on shortly, and then I'm gonna talk through it. So if you can't hear it much or at all, Fear not, because it doesn't rely on that. I think there was a button I needed to click at the very beginning for you to listen to the audio. But this is you all should be very familiar with this. The back of a ambulance. We have the patient. We have some EMT checking them out. So that should be familiar to you all, that kind of interaction. So our system will then take that and let's look at what was done, what was trained, what worked, what didn't work. So log in to the EMS competency software. Going to get us there most shortly. Okay. All right. So log in. That is role restricted view. So not every student is going to get in and see what other students are doing. We set this up where students see themselves, instructors see their class, however you want to have it set up for your particular organization and what your rules are. But as we were doing that particular assessment with those EMTs and that patient, you're tracking how they did their particular terminal learning objectives, their enabling learning objectives, whatever you wanted to set up and what you wanted to look at. So those different assessments, clinical skills, rubric skill, how you want to have those tracked. We don't have canned packages for this because we have found, as we said, 54 states and territories, but also so many different organizations and how they want to track competencies and assess it. So we have the capability there, and you'll work with a customer success manager that shows you how to set those up and tailor them to your particular organization's needs. So in this example here, we have the specialties, different assessment types, what competency they're tracking, and then we'll look and see. So here in particular, these different competencies were valued as important by the organization. We can explode those out and have sub competencies underneath them, things that you want to be grading and looking for as you're debriefing with the student or just keeping that record. So you have an individual learner, again, a clinician dashboard. An individual learner can then look up and see how they're doing. And again, role restricted login. So it depends on your organization's policies, procedures, your desires, what they can see and can't see based on login, but lets them know their score. And then you can see that compared to other students in the same cohort. Is day shift versus night shift, one particular location versus another, however you want to slice and dice that data and look at it. This is goes along with the mobile app that connects in. So as you're walking around watching the training, you can, on a phone or a different mobile platform, already have the particular assessment that you want to look at, and you can then, on the fly, if you will, as you're walking around on that particular mobile device, be keeping track of those competencies and really understand. Then that later on would be embedded in the recording. So I'm going to get out of that. So that's just a little bit about our competency solution and how we help you track those competencies and assess those skills and save them for later use. So now I'm going to kind of bring us back into training in motion and how that platform integrates with that as well. So innovative live simulation training packaged in a box. So you really want to be able to come back with the after action review with the student and show them, here's what you did wrong, here's what you did right, what would you do better, did you do this particular procedure correctly? So let's watch it. So specifically for instructors to use. So very versatile, best suited for training environments in different emergency medical services, risk rescue, disaster management, and preparedness. So I don't want to read this slide to you, but very versatile. We wanted to make sure that you don't have to buy several different training platforms. This platform will get it all. The military, who is a large customer of mine, everything from point of injury training, immediate casualty care, all the way up through clinical environment and into the OR, ER, and recovery, all of that vast spectrum of medical care. So I'm going to show you kind of a live demo of how that all works. So before I plow into that, is there any questions we need to address right now, Rio?
No, I do not see any.
Okay, and it's kind of good if you hold them to the end, just because I might answer proceed, but I just wanted to make sure that we were still chiming along swimmingly. Okay, so great. So this I'm now gonna proving we're live. Get out of that and bring up a recording of the product in use. So you can see this. Hoping. I'll think Rio tell me no if you can't see it. So this is what the platform looks like. We open up the particular training device, in this case, an iPad, and we can go for lightning fast setup. My CEO made a mandate when we came out with this product that you can get it out of the box and be training within 10 minutes. My experience is about 5 minutes. So get it out of the box, turn on the iPad, they turn on the cameras, they all check in with each other, and we're training. So it's really that simple and quick. We wanted to really, again, not have to have you be an IT person or particularly savvy on how to set up cameras. We wanted somebody to just be able to be doing the training. Here we go. All right. So now this just shows we can join in with a network, or the cameras all check in and make their own internal network. So if you have policies you can't connect to a network, it doesn't require that. It is a possibility. If not, the cameras make their own internal MiFi device. So we're going to show a little bit of live training here. Check in with an external network if you wish, or again, you don't have to. I use an external MiFi device quite a bit for my own purposes. It's however you need to have it set up. And again, we'll look at your organization's policies and make sure that we're following those, so we don't have any issues with policy and procedure. You can be focused just on the training. Fear not. So we click on the settings, and that lets us load up. Again, we're connecting to these two cameras, and then that little scene you see in the bottom right corner there, that's would be the encoder where we connect to a human patient simulator. If you have a Laerdal mannequin, a TACMed mannequin, or any other training device, again, SonoSim, video laryngoscope, some other training device you want to bring in, body-worn camera can be connected. That product will be ready in just a couple of months. We're doing some polishing, and also how you want to view this. You want to tilt it side to side, however you want to set up, whatever you feel is best for you to use. An iPad, it's flexible like that. So this is that view. So here we have one camera on a mannequin, another one, a different view of a mannequin, and then we have that encoder view. So flipping around between them as you wish or as you need. So in particular, we see people using that encoder area for vital signs of the mannequin or the patient. So as you're doing treatment, you can see the vital signs changing. We have the cameras at pan, tilt, zoom. So move them around, whatever your best way to observe whatever particular learning objective you want to be watching. So most of you are familiar with these patient simulators. This is a Laerdal patient simulator, and so focus, and you can see us moving that focus back and forth. The nice thing about this is as you adjust, it automatically adjusts the focus, clears it up for you. So really nice camera setup. Okay, I'm waiting for my video to catch up. something we know you all want to be able to do, not to have to slowly pan, tilt, zoom around the room. So these presets you see in the bottom corner, here we have 4 preset possibilities. So I know I'm always going to want to look at this, then I'm always going to go look at that. So preset those so that your pan, tilt, and zoom is already teed up, and I can flick between those different aspects. I know this is going to show a particular learning objective. I know this is going to show, so perhaps where they're giving an IV, then you want to see the patient's face, then you want to go see the vital signs. You can preset those views so you can quickly pop in and out of them. And again, when we do those zooms, automatically cameras are adjusting the focus so we have a nice, clear, crisp picture. Let you watch it zoom a little bit. Here we can adjust adjust the brightness, whatever works best for you. Some sim labs want to be very dark and dim and don't want to have a bright iPad beaconing. Others, if you're outside, you want to adjust the brightness up so that you can see very well, and also the audio. And you can see we have it turned down here for this particular training event, but you can adjust that audio as needed. Each camera has an embedded microphone, so there's not external microphones laying around. Your cameras already have the microphone connected, and so wherever you hang those cameras, the microphone is right there with it, syncing that audio and visual together. So as we're doing the training, let's bookmark some things. I want to come back to this. I want to come back to that. I want to show the student how they did this correctly. So adding those bookmarks in on the fly. And I can change the name of those bookmarks. So instead of just being stuck with bookmark 1, 2, 3, I can type in a specific thing: started CPR, stopped CPR, administered epinephrine, went and looked for the DNR. Those kind of things can be put in as bookmarks so that you can later on in the debrief, no one wants to sit through that 30-minute recording. So let's bookmark things so I can very quickly come back to 3 minutes and 50 seconds, 4 minutes and 10 seconds, 7 minutes and 30 seconds, boom, 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 during the debrief of the scenario, and show those specific events. When I'm done recording, I type in my session name, my evaluators, my learners, what other information, that metadata that I want to have attached to the recording, so I can save it for posterity with that information and save it. All of that is then captured and cemented. These videos and the audio is all time-stamped so that it all syncs up later. You come back a year later, everything knows what happened when, and you can watch those views. So when we go to the menu, we were before watching live, but if I click on sessions, then that's going to take me to those recorded sessions. So here's several sessions that were recorded. You can see how many bookmarks were established with each session, and then we can find that one that I want to do a debrief on, pop back into it, and here I am. Different camera views, and those camera views are completely interchangeable. So you're not stuck with the camera view that you had when you were doing the recording. If you had camera A on most of the time, but later on you found camera B really did a good job, let's use camera B. All of that is time-stamped so you can flick around later on in the after-action review. You can also add a bookmark to something that you missed. You can add a bookmark. You can delete a bookmark. Everything completely editable in playback, so you have the best experience with the after-action review and the learning with the student. So here we are just showing that is the best feature of training in motion is the bookmarking, so you have excellent after-action review. If you just want to record a session, there's a lot of other products you might choose. This one, we emphasize bookmarking, excellent after-action review with the student. So you see a couple of other things here on the menu. We can just check into those quickly and show you a couple of other things because we know that you are simulation managers and there's other things you have to do. So the camera and equipment connectivity. So here we have camera A, camera B, the encoder. But if you want to add another camera or another capture device, then that is certainly possible. And our customer success manager will show you how to do that and be able to always be available as a resource for that. You can actually add another simulator. If you have several different patient simulators, the product scans the room and lets you know, hey, you have a mannequin A, mannequin B, make your selection which one that you want to be using in this particular scenario. So it lets you know what the options are. Or if one of those isn't turned on, it's going to tell you that it's not available, and you'll know to go turn that particular patient simulator on. It'll check your system health. So we can kind of look and see what's connected, camera A, camera B, the encoder, cloud connectivity, not connected, but maybe that's good. You don't want to be connected to the cloud. So it's just confirming that. Or if you do want to be connected, then it will let you know, yeah, you're connected and good to go. Okay. And lastly, I've got coming up, we can look around for external networks. So if you do have an external network that you want to be able to connect with, it will do that. And again, we will show you how you would achieve that. This is particularly good for when you're broadcasting through Teams. All right, so I'm now going to get out of that, come back to your regularly scheduled programming. So a little bit of a demo, how that product works, and how we really tailored that to meet the needs of our educators and instructors who we have here with us today. A few other items. So again, the hardware that comes with our Training in Motion, 2 pan tilt zoom cameras with an option to add a third, the tablet, and the encoder, which pulls in the mannequin data, the vital signs, the event logs from those mannequins, if you have those mannequins, patient simulator mannequins, a charging device, of course, with whatever cables to charge up. But again, it is tetherless while you're training. So charge up the batteries and then go do the training. About 4 hours of battery life per charge up. And we find that most training events are an hour or so. So 4 hours of battery life is plenty. And in a hard shell case, I want you to be able to pack this back up, put it in the closet, haul it around on the back of a truck, whatever you need to do to get to the training. We want to make sure that it is rugged enough for you to use in those kind of environments. And then the software, we have our own proprietary, it's Training in Motion software web viewer. So we can log into a website and watch that training over the web. The video upload is secured through the Azure network. If anybody here is a cybersecurity person, you'll know that is an extremely strong, robust cybersecurity system. And then we have integrated through Teams and Zoom. We have licensing for both of those. And then I think, I'm sorry, I keep touching my computer, making it flip. Apologies for that. All right. So, and then lastly, a couple of accessories. We have additional cameras, the laptop, the encoder, body cam. So we find head-worn cameras don't work well, but body-worn gives you a stable enough platform and close-up on really what the person's doing, that tactile information that you want to get. Solar panel to charge batteries. I don't want you to have to extend a extension cord, half a mile, right? So solar panel to charge batteries if you're out in the field somewhere, solar generator for backup, mounting and brackets and tripods. We find tripods are an excellent platform to hang the cameras, work really well for that. We have a couple of other options for camera hanging as well, but we want to give you a lot of options for where you place cameras so that they show the particular training events that you want to be tracking and assessing. So that brings me to the end.